I wanted to show you a technique that I use for my Afterthought heels, and I just think it's great. You don't get any gaps here where you join in your yarn to do the heel, and I didn't invent it. I don't know who did, so I just want to show you guys. I think you'll enjoy it, and here we go. Alright, this is a sock that I'm working on. And I've taken it off the needles, put this on waste yarn. Need to find. Here is my beginning of round. And so I want my heel to be right here between these markers. And what I did when I was knitting, I just marked the spot, and you can do this later too. You can put the markers in most any time before you work your heel. But for my sock, I measure 6 inches from the beginning to where I want the heel to go. And I put in these markers. Now you want to have the cuff next to you. And you work from right to left. Underneath this marker, I'm going to pick up the right leg of the stitch underneath. And lucky me, it's a dark yarn, which is a little difficult for me to see. Maybe it won't be for you. But I'm going to pick up the right leg all the way across. I'm just going to continue that way, all the way across. And I'll come back when I have a few more picked up. All right. Dark yarn's hard for me to see, but I've picked up all the bottom stitches here, and I'm going to pull my needle through. We work from right to left, and I'm going to pull it through just to kind of have it out of the way. Now I'll use the other needle tip, and I will pick up the stitches above the locking marker. Have a little bit lighter yarn here, that'll be easier for us to see. See how that's looking? I'll just pick up the rest across the row, and I'll come back. Alright, so I've picked up the row above. So see how that looks? And I'm going to pull this needle through also. It's a little bit easier to work when it's just on the cords. And now what we're going to do, we're going to snip the center stitches. I just really need to cut one, and then I can pick them out. There we go. And I like to use a tapestry needle for this, and you just start picking them out. And we're going to do this across both sides. But we're going to stop when we get 2 stitches before our locking marker. Having good eyesight helps a lot. I don't have that. Okay. These out of the way so you can see. Alright, Alright, so I've picked out all the yarn until we get to the last 2 stitches at each end, and that's where we're going to stop removing the yarn. And that is the real secret to having no gaps at your heels. It's just great. These stitches, they can be tucked in or left out and woven in later, whichever suits you. And now is a good time to take out the locking markers, because at this point they're just really going to be in your way. And I'm using a contrast this time for my heel. So I'm just going to pull off a little bit. And you just pick up and knit. And the way I work mine is I knit 5 plain rows. And then I begin working decreases just like you would for a toe. It's really simple. And it works out really nice. Gives you a nice afterthought heel with no gaps. I like this much better than using waste yarn, because I always tended to get a gap with waste yarn. I think you've got it, you guys. I thought that I would show you how to do the decreases on my last round here. My yarn sorted. This is my beginning of round marker for my heel. I've already knit 1 stitch there. So the next one's going to be an SSK. So we slip, and we slip, and then we knit. Now we knit to the last 3 stitches before the next marker. Okay, so we're 3 stitches before the next marker. We're going to knit 2 together, knit 1, slip the marker, knit 1, do our little magic loop dance here. Then we're going to slip, slip, and knit. Going to knit 2 together, knit 1, slip that, and knit.